Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Dre_Evo X, and today we're gonna be washing the Evo, as it hasn't been washed in a few weeks. I like washing it at least once a week, I would say, but it's definitely getting a little filthy. So today we're gonna be just going through a whole wash through, washing the outside, vacuuming the inside, and doing the engine bay, which engine bay I do last because obviously water drips down from doing an outside wash. So here we have the Evo herself, and today I'll show you a few things that I use. So I just have your normal bucket, you have your sponge, then you have another sponge for my wheels on the back side, and then this I use on the trunk and the front bumper for like the little bug type. Nice, that doesn't scratch. And then for soap, you might be surprised, but honestly, it does wonders. Some Dawn, 50% less scrubbing, a little bit in there, same as any other soap. And then I will go into a video on what I use after it's washed, how I dry it, and then what I use as far as wax and everything. So now, time to give her a bath. So I would have taken my wheels off to wash, but like a week or two ago, I did take them off, wash the barrels and everything, so they're really not that dirty, but definitely try to get as much as I could. And I like to wash the side and then the wheels so that the water's dripping on it last. And then I'll work to the back, and then the other side, and then the front, and then dry it all off. So now, let's work to the back. So now, we're gonna do the back, and this is where I had said that I used that one sponge. I'm gonna use this sponge so it doesn't rip the titanium pieces off. Nice and smooth over top compared to the smaller sponge, which I use for small areas, bumper, so I can really give it a scrub. Let's give that a rinse. All right, now we're gonna move to the right side of the car. Now do the same thing that I did on the left side of the car. I like getting the body first, and then I like to get the wheels last. When I get to the front, you're gonna see, why don't you wash the hood? And it's because there's new vents compared to the OEM one. And I know some people say they wash it, they don't really care, but I just don't want water going places it can't go. So I just use Windex waterless car wash on the carbon hood when everything's done. Give that a good rinse. Like I said, they've been recently taken off and cleaned. Okay, so now both sides are done. Now we're gonna work to the front of the car. So now we're gonna wash the front side, which, like I told you guys, I don't fully touch the hood because of all the different vents. I don't want water just draining down in there. But the bumper, all game. Now I'll go back through with the smaller sponge and really focus on like where bugs splat. And if I see any left over, obviously the headlights always get some, front bumper areas. Now, clean that off. What I'll use to dry it off, yeah, people use microfiber towels to wipe it off, but I feel like that takes forever. So just your casual battery powered leaf blower, and that's basically what I use to dry it off. So now that the main drying stuff is done with the leaf blower, I'll go through with a few microfiber towels just to get the little bit that's left. And then I'll show you the next step, which is doing a water beading wax, which actually brings the color out a lot. And it's nice for next few times you wash your car, when you do that leaf blower, the water flies right off, which I haven't done it in a bit, so that's why it wasn't coming off as easily. So what I use is bead maker, and it's a paint protectant. Like I said, when the car gets wet, the water just flies off it. I have it on my daily. When I'm driving, if water's on it, it just flows right off. So that's what we do now. A few sprays. And then basically just rubbing it in and rotating the towel as you need. And the stuff smells amazing too. So nice because you can literally see the difference and feel it. Like you really don't have to spray it everywhere. But sometimes I go overboard because I'd rather have wax than not enough. Let's get the bottom. So do the same thing on this side. A few sprays. Now, work towards the front. For the front of the car, it's not much, just the little bumper pieces. And that's basically it as far as the waxing goes. So now, the next step that we will be doing is the windows, headlights, what I use for that, and then move in to the interior to clean that. For headlights, I just use your casual Windex, and well, after a fresh wash, I don't use that little blue sponge that you've seen, but like say I'm about to go out for the day and some bugs are murdered on there, then I'd use that little blue sponge, which is way easier to get bugs off, but obviously there's no bugs on it right now after a fresh wash, so I got a nice little Windex on top. Go to the other side. And same with the carbon hood too, which I also use Windex. So I'll spray some on the towel. Because fingerprints love showing up on carbon. One thing I've learned. Same with this piece. Now we're gonna move to the windows, which for the front one, I use Rain-X. Everyone loves Rain-X. So, pretty simple. A few sprays. So for the windows, all around the side and the back, I'll use 2 towels, one to spray and one to dry so that doesn't leave any marks. So now, let's go to the interior, which doesn't need swept out. I already swept it out a few days ago. But I can show what I do to my wheel, my radio, and just the front dash, basically. So now, I'm gonna be showing you what I use on the interior. So I got my microfiber, and then basically for like the wheel, the screen, I use just Windex. Windex works wonders. Try to get along the actual carbon. And also when I'm cleaning the engine bay, I'm kind of gonna do a background of this car, why I got it, my goals for it. Just kind of an intro to me, basically. So now let's get the screen. So now, when I'm done with that step, all of the black areas, I use Armor All, along with my rag. I like just spraying the rag so it doesn't splash places. Try to give it that nice shine. And that's basically it on at least the front dash portion. The back, same. Any black area, use Armor All. Any like window type area, glass, use Windex. So now we're gonna go to the engine bay and also try to give a little bit of an introduction to the car, how I got it, when I got it, what the goals were. And then that's basically it for this video. So, as far as cleaning my wheels, which you can see, I use two different things. I'll use Chemical Guys wheel cleaner, and then for the tires, I use Chemical Guys Hydro Shield, which is basically like a tire shine. So first, I'll use the wheel cleaner to get the wheels. It's just crazy how fast barrels get dirty. And I'm gonna get a separate towel for when I go back on the other wheels. I don't wanna use this dirty now wheelbarrow towel to go on the actual rim. It's a lot better. Now, after that, I'll use basically the tire shine, as you call it. Spray some on this, around the edges. And that's pretty much it for the wheel slash tire. Much cleaner look than it used to look. So now let's clean the engine bay. Open these pins up. There's always some soap in them that I just get out once the engine bay is open. And also, a little about me, when I got this car. So there's two things I use. Your Windex, like as you see, is a common pattern. And then for my titanium pieces, what I first use is JD Custom Titanium Cleaner. I'll go over that first and then do Windex after that. And then also, I can get into a little about me. So I got this car in January 2022. I've always wanted an Evo from Fast and Furious. Ever since I was a little kid, going to car meets with my family, and I'd always see an Evo and say, oh, one day I'm gonna own that. And then I was blessed to find one. I always wanted a final edition in blue, because blue is my favorite color, but I could not find one that was not touched. So I saved up money so I can put my comfortable amount down. I decided to start looking, and like I said, I wanted to find one that was basically completely stock, not touched. Anything that would be done to it, I was going to do. So I looked online, and funny be it, this Mercury gray one popped up, and it had low miles. It was around, I'd say mid 60,000 miles. I looked in the engine bay photos, all completely stock. The only thing that was done was the clutch master cylinder, because you could see it was a braided line. So it was everything I wanted. It was stock, Evo 10. It just wasn't a final edition in blue, which I took that trade-off for getting one that was completely stock. I need to get another towel actually to dry this off some more. But, so I bought it completely stock, and honestly my goals were just make it sound a little better, get an exhaust intake, and that was it. I never thought that I'd want to get a turbo kit put on, which I'll get into that, what turbo kit I have, the size, what I'm pushing, all of that. So later that year, I bought the ETS V3 Extreme Exhaust, catback all the way. So put that on, and then came, I wanted better headlights and taillights, so I put the VLAN with the red demon eyes headlights, and in the back it's smoked taillights with the sequential turn signals, all of that, which I'll hit my, as you can see, it's red for the daytime running lights, but obviously when the headlights come on, it flicks to white. And then after that, I got, I'm trying to think in order, so many things that I got. After that, it was the ETS intake. As you can see, I'm going a pattern, all ETS, but so then it was ETS intake. And then honestly, I was good for a bit. And I just wanted to make it look a little better, so the wheels that I have are 5 Zegans FN01RCs that aren't made anymore, but my uncle had them on his FD, and he gave me a good price to get them. They were original, like chrome color, but I powder coated them mag blue, since as you see the pattern, my favorite color is blue. And then I got those, but I also had Michelin Pilot Sport 4s as my tires, so stickiness with nice aftermarket rims. And then I thought I was good, and then every year I was like, I want to make it a little better, I want to make it a little better. So then the year after that, I went big wing, which you can see in the back, the big wing. So that wing is a battle arrow wing, and as far as the length, 70 inches wide with 15 inches stands. Obviously that makes it stand high. So then after that, I put this front lip on, and to be honest with you, it's just an eBay lip. I didn't feel like, in Pennsylvania roads, which is where I live, potholes everywhere, I didn't feel like spending near $1,000 on a carbon lip to just get destroyed on one pothole, which this lip has been surviving, but then it's two pieces, so it's the lip and the splitter that you see down here, screwed up under, and that's probably like my fourth one. Even just a little speed bump took it out the one day, as I just replaced it, which was annoying. And then after that, that was it for that year. And so then after that, I wanted to make it run a little better, so I got the regular black ETS piping, ETS intercooler with the stencil, white stencil that says ETS, Go Fast Bits blow-off valve to run with the intake, and that was basically it then. And then what made me decide to get the turbo kit was in Mexico, I was racing, just a little casual pool, and I got gapped by a Challenger, and I was like, oh, I can't have this happen again. So then I decided to buy a turbo kit, and I was like, oh, do I just want to get a turbo and just keep everything else that I have, or get the whole kit? So with doing my research, I decided to get the whole kit, and I got a Precision 6266 top mount V-band turbo kit. And you all might ask why such big of a turbo, and it's because I wasn't planning on touching my lawn block at all. So it's stock lawn block still to this day, and that's why I got the big turbo, so my power band would be up high, because I didn't feel like spending another basically price of an Evo to build my engine. Now, will I ever do that one day? Yeah, but that'll be when it's on its final last form of what I want the car to be. So down in the comments, I'm curious what you guys think I make, and then I'll tell you what I make soon. So I put the turbo kit on, and then I took it to More Automotive in Virginia to get tuned. Just pump gas. I didn't want to do E85 in the winters. And I make on DynoJet 525 to the wheels on 28 pounds of boost, which it exceeded my numbers. I thought I was only going to be like mid 400s, which I guess that's a perk of having the big turbo. And great, still fun to drive, being not a daily driver, but a fun car to drive, just to cruise, or when you want to get on it. She wakes up for sure once that turbo hits. From second gear, first gear, third gear, fourth gear, all the way on. Fifth gear, I have a little bit of lag once I shift into fifth, but then once it gets back up into the RPM range of around 4,300 RPMs, it just kicks all the way. So that was it for that year. And I drove everywhere that summer, because you know how it is. You get a whole new setup. You want to just drive it like crazy. And so you're probably like, all right, you got the turbo kit, but what about the fueling that you got? And I said I stayed on pump gas, 93, but for fueling I put Radiant fuel rail with a wallbore 450 fuel pump. So that's where my fueling comes. And then that basically gave me the power, but the thing with the wallbore 450, you have to have the siphon drilled in order for the fuel to be able to flow. And so your line doesn't get kinked and basically blow your motor on the dyno. And so then that next summer, I was like, I need to make it look better. So all of this that you see now, it used to be black piping, black valve cover. It was a blue bar, but I painted it. And then all of this was black. Then all of these brackets were the normal mercury gray. And they were starting to rust, so they're looking ugly. So I took it to get powder coated. I took the valve cover, brackets on this side, the strut bar, the ECU bracket, the bracket for the intake, the velocity stack, this bracket here, all different brackets that just were an eyesore to look at. And got it all powder coated in Illusion Blueberry, which if you shine your light to it, it kind of like gives a little sparkle, which I loved. So that was the look for that year. I gave it that. And then I also wanted to upgrade. There was these plastic canisters for your coolant and your power steering. So instead I did the Matte Performance and did the catch can, which looks way better. And then the power steering obviously looks way better. And also I hid my engine harness, which used to sit on top of a valve cover if you have an Evo 10. And there was an extension harness that plugs in, and then now it's run along the side, so it makes it look way cleaner on the engine bay. And then I also got the titanium intercooler pipes, upper and lower, which we all know how much that costs, but I love titanium and how it looks. And then I got the carbon fiber hood from Cybon, which you can see. And then I also got the Aero Catch hood pins, which, yeah, it was stressful drilling into a carbon hood, but you know, it's lighter and I didn't want to have the risk of it flying up on the highway. And then I also got JD Custom titanium bolts for the hood pins to go into, and it clicks pretty nice. I'll show you. We set it up pretty good. Close it, click, click, and you're good to go. So now I have that security of when I'm on the highway that my hood's not gonna fly up. So yeah, I make, like I said, 525 to the wheels right now. If there ever was an actual angle of horsepower that I wanna make, I wanna be in, I'd say mid 7s to low 8s. That would be as far as I wanna push it. I don't wanna be in the 1,000 horsepower, because obviously they say the more horsepower you make, the more problems you potentially have. And granted, right now I would just be chasing power because I love the way the car is now. It's never given me any problems really. Besides for after I bought it, about a month, my clutch went, which it was, I guess, on its way out anyway. But now I have a ACT HD SS with a light flywheel. And I know I'm forgetting things. I'm just trying to remember. But you can obviously see some things like the canards, carbon front grille with the emblem. Let me show the interior better so you guys can get a look. So for the interior, I talked about the catch can, the power steering. I got my Instagram, YouTube by JD Customs, Dre_Evo X. And then the valve cover is Illusion Blueberry. The bar is Illusion Blueberry. You see the titanium pipes, the turbo with a Funk Motorsports cover. And then you can see my harness runs along the side, which is way better than it just sitting on top of the valve cover and it was leaving spots. And then a titanium oil cap. You see the fuel rail. This used to be an eyesore for everyone that has a 10. The red cover, I had to get rid of that. So I found a carbon one, thankfully. And then more carbon, and then these brackets that were ugly and rusted are all blue now. Just making it look cleaner, basically. But that's what the engine base sits at now. Don't really know any other changes I would make to it. I'd love to get the intake manifold pulled off and powder coat that, even if it's black, just so it blends in way better compared to the OEM color that it is now. As far as the interior goes, it used to just be stock Lancer seats, pretty much. And then my friend who used to have a rally art, unlucky for him, blew up, but he was looking to get rid of his rally art, and I was like, hey, how much you want? Basically on top of trading you my seats so I could get the Recaros, aka the nice bucket seats. And he gave me a deal, so I have those. And then I also have, this year for the look, I came and I got the Brom harness bar that's also powder coated in Illusion Blueberry, along with NRG harnesses that's like a titanium type color look, so it goes with the flow, which looks sick. And then I also have my carbon fiber steering wheel from Zen Carbon Fiber. I have the tablet, the Android CarPlay tablet. I have carbon fiber front dash. I have the side dash. I have JD Custom titanium shift knob. I have the e-brake handle. That's carbon fiber. And then my gauge pillar with my boost gauge and my AFR gauge. I have carbon fiber pillar. And that's basically like a rundown of the car itself, where it's sitting at now. I also have BC coilovers. That was an obvious one that I missed. But yeah, as far as the car, never give me any problems. I love it to death. I'll never get rid of it. I don't think any type of money is gonna make me want to get rid of it. I still have low miles, around 80 some thousand now. I've definitely been driving it less since I went through that owning it phase, newly tuned phase. Now it's just trying to take care of it as best as I can. It's definitely, I didn't think it would turn into more of a show car than it is now, which while I'm trying to make it look better, like next year I want to get the Vars front bumper, the Vars rear bumper, get it paint matched. I'd like to have this piece carbon along with the bottom, which I know they make. I just would have to order already because how long it takes. But that's basically the goals for next year, just making it look better. And then the side skirts, I want to make the carbon fiber ones that they make. I think Red Speed makes them, or Cybin, I'm not sure. And yeah, that's basically it for the whole look of the car. And that was this YouTube segment of washing the car, kind of what I do to detail it too, on the interior, exterior, engine bay, and then a little about the car itself. I know I missed some things, but if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I respond to them as fast as I can. And I can't wait to see how this channel grows and what way I take it. I want to do more like vlogs at car meets, 'cause I go to a lot of cars and coffees, car shows. I want to do more ride-alongs, like where I attach my camera to my harness bar and it shows basically like from the middle view up, doing turbo sounds, exhaust sounds, now that I can tweak my mic better. Maybe even like exterior view, showing like my wheel or showing the back of the car, just different type of views and videos to attack it wise. And that's basically my goals. But until next time, thank you guys for watching. And this is Dre _Evo X out.